Hi everyone. I wanted to show you guys just a quick primer on Google Classroom. So I'll get my face out of here. So this is Google Classroom. You can go to classroom.google.com or let me open up the correct thing here. If you're on any of the Google sites, you'll basically always see these 9 dots up here, and you can click those and you can open up all the most of the Google services. So firstly though, make sure that you're on the correct account, the account that you want to use. And let's see, now see that switched my account. So just some security alerts, delete. But if I wanted to go to Google Classroom from here, I can come down and select Classroom. Now, this order might be different for you. This is sort of, it becomes kind of like a most recently used, and it's also sort of what Google guesses you would want up there. So if you don't find Classroom right up here, keep scrolling down. You can even do more from Google and find it in their worst case scenario. So at any rate, I'm in Google Classroom now. Now, if you have multiple classes, they're going to show up here. So you see I've got one, this is called Class Thing D for whatever reason. You can also open up Calendar from here, and this again is going to be the calendar attached to that account. So Calendar is super awesome, and what's nice about it is if you have stuff for classes, it's going to show up in here. So what I mean by stuff, let's see here, i.e. if you create assignments and whatnot, it's going to show up in there. Now, when you have more than one class, they're going to show up here. You're going to have like multiple boxes, multiple tiles. So at any rate, to get into your class, click on the class name. Yes. Now, if you want to share your class with another student, which this should be set up for most teachers, you can send them this class code and they can go to classroom.google.com and they can join the class. The other way to do it, you can go to people and you can either add teachers here or you can add students here. So 2 different ways to add students. To add teachers, you would add them here. So like for instance, if I wanted to add my friend Uslam, I could click plus here and type in her email and then do invite. The difference between teachers and students is basically permissions. So at any rate, let's go back here. So this shows upcoming work that's due soon, clearly. And this is where you would post things, kind of like how you post it on Facebook. So you can click here. You can have it go to all students or you can select some. And if you have more than one class in Classroom itself, if you as a teacher have, say, 2, 3, 4 classes, you can pull this down and select those additional classes. So you can send one notice to 10 classes if you want to. But I can share this with a class, blah, 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 and then hit post. And it shows up just like a Facebook post, but there's a bunch more. So let's create another new post. This, by the way, is not my work account, not my personal account. It's one that I use for Google junk, posting videos and whatnot. But you can do add, and you can select individual files. So you can choose my drive or whatever, but you can actually select files from your computer as well, and share things that way. I'm going to cancel this. You can also do add and select things from Google Drive itself, which brings you to the same place. So if I wanted to share this penguin picture, okay, now it's adding that. I can share YouTube videos pretty easily. So what would I want to do here that's kind of appropriate? How to use Classroom. Google Classroom. Hey, look at that. I can share one of these. How to use Google Classroom for remote teaching. And we can add that. So now I got 2 things on here. You can also add YouTube videos by just pasting in the URL. So for instance, if you've got a YouTube video that you already have in mind. Hey. Okay, let's say I want to post this thing, which is a nerdy computer thing from a weirdo. You can just put that in there and do add, and there's your weirdo. You can also, let's see, post links as well, which is, simple, just simple links. So, gmail.com, right? And you can see it shows up there. And then you can also, of course, add your message, and that's going to show up too. So let's see how it looks when we actually post it. Now, you can schedule things to be posted at a later time. You can also save things as a draft. If you are late for a meeting and need to run and you didn't finish your post, save it as a draft. If you want to post something for 8 o'clock in the morning, but you're not going to be at your computer until 9, schedule it. Usually you'll just post things immediately. So post. Takes a second. And there you go. You can click on these, you can open them up. You can click on this type of thing. And here you're seeing it'll play right here.
In this video,
So what's nice about that is now it's not showing all the extra YouTube junk. So normally when you share a YouTube video, everyone sees this other junk, and they'll see things like the ads and stuff like that. Doing it here, it just shows up with the video. So that's super nice, because now if you've got students, you don't need to worry so much about weird ads and other videos and distractions. And then of course, you can open up links as well, which you can put links in the message too. I mean, either way is fine. This works for documents, of course. You can edit the post after the fact. So I can do edit, and I can say not enough blahs, and I can add a file, which I actually just redid this computer, and so I'll have to make one, but let's see here. Create new document, empty file. Okay, so here's this. I'm going to save this document. And, get out of there. Select files, documents. There's the document that I just created. Open and upload. Takes a second to upload. Of course, the amount of time it takes to upload depends on how big the document is and stuff. Now this shows up as a binary file actually, so hang on one sec. By the way, this, what I'm running here is Linux. And so the reason that I'm running Linux is because it's awesome, but also because I kind of made it in a way. But most importantly, it is to show you that you can use this on Mac, Windows, Linux, whatever, and it's the same regardless, okay? So now it's showing a text file because I had to add the txt to the end. So let's save this. Takes a second or two. So now you see the text document shows up as well. And there it is. You can see the preview of it. Now, when you preview a document like this, you can always open it in a new window also. And what's interesting here, and then if you want to, if the student wants to rather, they can open it with Google Docs. And what's interesting here is Classroom is connected to Drive and Docs and Sheets and the rest of the Google ecosphere. So I've added this document to Google Drive, or I'm sorry, to Classroom. Unable to convert. That's okay. Don't worry about that. But I'll show you what it does here in a second. So these things are links, right? These things. Here's a picture, here's a document. So what I can actually do is, let's see here if I can find it. Sorry. If I go to classes, see this right here? Open folder for class in Google Drive. So I'm going to open it in a new tab. Now anything I post shows up right in here. So here's that same text document. And I can open it with Google Docs, or I could if I didn't, if I actually took my time to make a real document. So it automatically saves the things from Classroom into a specific class in Google Drive. So like if I go to my Drive, I'm we got some junk here. If I open up Classroom, now you'll see any class that you have is listed here with all the things that you've shared with them. And when you open up a specific class, there are the actual documents right there. So that's really nice too. So let's look at some of the other features. Is there anything down below? There's not. So if we go to, you can change settings, but this stuff I think is going to be primarily set up by IT. So I wouldn't mess with this stuff too much. You can also change the theme here. So if you want to do a different theme, you can just select it. So like English and history, this one's kind of fitting. There are other things. Let's try this one. I like that. So now it's got some video game junk. You can also upload your own photo. Which, let's see. You can upload from your computer. It looks like you can't upload directly from Drive. So if you've got something in Drive that you would like to have in there as the photo, or if you've got something in Drive that for whatever reason isn't showing up, you can, let's see, download it first. So I'm going to download this. It's just a JPEG picture. Close that now. Select from computer. Now mine download to the desktop. Yours will probably go into a downloads folder. Again, this is Linux, but it's very similar to Mac and Windows. So at any rate, choose that photo, click open, it uploads. Then you have to just resize it to make it fit specifically. So picture size kind of matters, but you can usually crop the image to the way that you want it. So I'm going to select that for the theme. There you go. Clearly you don't want to use coronavirus as a picture for the theme, but you know, for this example it works. So that's the stream. It's kind of like a Facebook stream without all of the extra junk and all of the people supporting my stupid president, for instance. So let's go on to classwork. Classwork is another type of stream. So you can open up calendar from here, and I'm going to open things in new tab because I want to stay on this page. You can also open your Drive folder. So if I assign something, it'll show up in here. If I add something, it'll show up in here. So let me show you that. I'm going to you can create assignments, quizzes, simple questions. Material is when you just want to upload something, and then reuse post does that. It puts it back at the top of the list. And you can create topics. So your topics might be superlative for one topic, comparative for another topic, and then you can put assignments and materials under those individual topics. When I use this, I basically use classwork pretty much just for complete assignments. I use Stream for most everything else, but you may organize this differently. Let me show you how I create an assignment though. So it kind of gives you some ideas. So within you can add docs, slides, sheets, drawings, and forms. Got it? Now what I want to do, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to come back to my Drive. And I'm going to create a new Google document. Now when you're using Google Docs, Sheets, or Slides, the first thing you must do, hold up, you must immediately give the file a name. When you do that, it starts saving things automatically. If you don't, good luck. Maybe it will. I don't know. Give the document a name first. It's grayed out so that you can change it. So, homework assignment for April Fool's Day, right? So, don't be a fool. Oops. That's our assignment. You're seeing this is saving automatically. And note that it says every change you make is automatically saved. Last edit was seconds ago. There's a lot of nice features about the Google Suite. I won't get into them here because we're going to focus on Classroom, but these are saved, so I'm closing it. Now, you don't see that here, right? Refresh. Homework assignment for April Fool's Day. Okay, so now it's in my personal drive. I got to get it to the class. So come back over here. Let's say homework, instructions, read the document, and then I'm going to add, and I'm going to click Google Drive. Now again, you can upload other things, images. Well, let's take a look. You can add the same things that you can in the stream, but I'm going to add a Google Drive doc. So it's right here in recent, but if it weren't here, I'd have to go to my drive and find it. It's right here. So add. Got it. Students can view the file. Students can edit your copy of the file, or you can do make a copy for each student. If you do make a copy for each student, because it's something that they're going to edit, that works well. Then you have, if you have 15 students, you'll have 20 individual copies. If you want the students to edit one single file, then use students can edit. And if you just want them to read it like it's instructions, then you can do just view. Normally I'll use students can view file, but it makes sense in some cases to use these other ones, depending on grade and age and what the homework assignment is. So I'm going to do students can view. Okay, so that's basically it. At least that's the bulk of the immediate bits. Now you can add points. I usually don't for homework, but that's up to you. Due date is the other important one. Now you notice today is April 1st, but it defaults to the next day, right? But actually it's about 1:30 in the morning here, so I want to do today. But for the time, I'm going to put, I don't know, 8 o'clock at night, 8 p.m. For the topic, since I haven't created any topics, there's none shown here, but you can create the topic and put it in there. And then there's this rubric feature, which to be honest with you, I haven't used much, but you can create a rubric, reuse it. This is for grading. I keep it simple and do ungraded. I give them a day, and I don't normally even give them a time. Usually I would give them just another day and leave the time blank. It's due tomorrow. And my kids know that means that it's due before class. So at any rate, we can come up here and do assign. Now you can schedule this, you can save the draft, you can discard the draft, or you can assign it immediately. I'm not going to schedule it, I'm not going to save the draft because I'm happy with this. I'm going to just assign it. That's the most common way to use it. Now you'll see what happens. Now it shows up right here. So you can click on this and you can see the information. You can view the actual assignment itself. And here's nice because if you had some students, you would see, okay, I've assigned it to say 15 students, only 5 of them have checked that they've turned it in. And then you can open up the folder to show the assignment. You can click on the instructions and so forth. Let's go back to the class though, back to classwork. Here's the assignment. Now, if I open up, let me close these. If I open up calendar from here now, you see this assignment shows up, and it's showing up above here because I did not give it any due time. All right, so let's change that and let's see what happens. I can come here and edit, delete, or copy the link. Let's edit this one. And yeah, I got it enough. I want it to be due tomorrow at, let's say I've got class at 11. I'm going to make it due at 10 in the morning. All right, save. And this is really where you guys should use Google Calendar as well because it is awesome. I love it. It's simple. You can add multiple calendars in there. Sorry, my internet's kind of slow at the moment. You can add multiple calendars and such. It's really fantastic. Also, this is showing up. I guess this is under my personal email in this case, so that's all right. So yeah, this one's taking longer than normal, so I'm just going to refresh it. And still, yeah, so due tomorrow, 10 a.m. it still shows up with the proper time. That was just, for some reason, yeah, I'm not sure what got mixed up there, but at any rate, you can see that you can edit it. That was the browser setting, sorry. You can edit it, you can save it, and then I'm going to close out of that assignment. So now when I open up Calendar, as I'm sure you've figured out by now, you see it shows up here at 10 o'clock. Now when I double click that, it gives me the document link, it gives me what I put for the assignment, the time that it's due, and so on, and what class that it's a part of. And then you can add other classes from there as well. So Calendar is awesome. You guys should definitely use it if you don't already. I'll quickly show you my own personal calendar actually. So yeah, this is my real calendar. This is my schedule of classes. There was some other stuff scheduled for this week. These lighter colored ones are days that are over. This is what's coming up. And since I use an Android phone, which is better than iPhones, it gives me a little notification. It'll give me a little ring 10 minutes before the classes start. So y'all should use Calendar anyways, but I'm not going to get more into that now. Okay, so that's assignments. As for people, we sort of went over that. Teachers, students, you can add them, you can add them. You can add students by sending them this link. That's about it. And then for grades, if you add grades, yeah, got it. If you put grades for your assignments, then you can track grades from here. Personally, I don't. I use my own spreadsheet for that because I like having that control myself. You're more than able to do grades within here. If grades are a thing that you need to do for your grade or your age anyways, you don't have to. I'm going to say primarily, and generally speaking for at least the school that I work at, primarily classwork and stream are what you're going to want to focus on. And how I split it up is simply put, stream is where I send them information and where I send them documents that I don't have an expiration date for. So I may send them a thing that says, read this document about class rules. Classwork is where I put things that have a due date and or a due time. What's nice too is any of your students and other teachers who are listed in people will also get a notification about when that classwork is due if you set a notification for it. So, for instance, this one's due tomorrow at 10 o'clock. When I open up Calendar, you see it's in here. Now if I open this up, you see I can add a notification. So I can say either notify, which would give you a little pop-up on your computer or a pop-up on your phone if you have your Google account attached to your phone. And it's just a pop-up that is due in 10 minutes, or 10 minutes before it's due, I'm sorry. You can also email, and let's say you've got students who are doing a long-term project. Let's say you've got something that's due in a month, right? And you want to remind them 2 weeks or a week ahead of time. You can change this to email 1 week. Okay, now it's going to notify the teachers and it's going to notify the students that, hey, that due date and that due time is coming up. And it's going to give them basically this message saying, your stuff's going to be due, get on the ball, get it taken care of. You can add multiple notifications as well. So I can add another notification 10 minutes before it's due. I can make it 10 hours before it's due. So there's a lot you can do in here, and then when you save it, it's saved. Calendar's super powerful, and I wish we used it more where I work, but you know, something for the future. That's basically it, honestly. I use Stream for information. I use classwork when I'm assigning things. And I basically personally don't do quizzes. If I have a question to ask, I'll normally put it in the Stream anyways, which you can put it in here. If I'm sharing material, I'll normally put it in the Stream. Now, that said, it is really useful for some people to create topics because then it organizes their materials more granularly. If you choose to do that, that's certainly a smart thing. the way I organize things is just simply by date, basically. And so I think that works fairly well for my students, but it may not work for you and yours. That's about it, really. I mean, I would highly recommend that you switch over to using Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides for any new material, because it integrates seamlessly with this. When you use PowerPoint, Word, and Excel, if the document has an X at the end of the file suffix, so if it is .docx, .pptx, .xlsx, students should be able to open and edit it on within Google Chrome, within the built-in Docs, Sheets, and Slides apps. If it's before the X versions were created, so if it's just a .doc, .xls, or .ppt, what it will do is create a copy of itself in Drive. In either case, it just becomes a hassle. I understand for a material that you already have, typically people will want to just upload it and go, and that's fine, basically. I mean, I get that. But going forward, I would strongly recommend that you create things in Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. And what's nice about it too is, if, let's say, your boss says, hey, email me what you're going to send for homework, you can send them the link, you can share it with them, just like you can in Google Drive. You can share it through Google Drive. You wouldn't use Classroom for sharing. But also, if a person says, look, I'm not on Google, I hate Google, I'm not using it, that's fine. You can download it, and download it as a .doc, .xls, .ppt, and you can send it to those people. But the sharing feature in here and the very tight integration between Google's products are its strong point. So you should definitely exploit that as much as possible. I don't know how long this thing's been, so I think that's about it. Again, this is Linux, but don't get confused by this stuff. When you open up Google Chrome, it's going to be exactly the same. So, yeah, if you got questions, let me know, and I'll try to help you out. All right. Thanks, y'all.